Hello and welcome to NJBIZ Conversations. I'm your host, Jeff Kanige. Joining me this morning is Denise Blasevick. She's the CEO and co-founder of the S3 Agency, an advertising and public relations firm in Boonton. Denise, welcome.
Thank you so much, Jeff. It's my pleasure to be here.
Great. Now, you're a small business owner, and the reason I wanted to talk to you is because you have some ideas about what the state should be doing for folks like you. But first, I want to hear a little bit about your experience during the pandemic. How is business? How have you been holding up? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I feel very fortunate to be healthy and safe, and my family's that way, and my business is fairly well that way as well. We're not billing what we normally would bill, but we're doing fine for a couple of reasons. One, we were one of the few businesses, the small businesses that actually did get the PPP funding.
Okay.
So that was enormously helpful. It's not sustainable, but very helpful to get through a tough time. And number two, our clients tend to be large businesses, and large businesses, while they've been hurt also, haven't been hurt to the level that small businesses have been. So since that was the primary portion of our client base, we have continued to be able to do business. And as an advertising agency, we're able to work from home easily. So all of those things together worked out well for us.
Okay, so your clients were essential businesses. They were working through this whole time. Is that what I hear you saying, or is that?
They're not necessarily essential businesses, but okay. They're large corporations.
Oh,
the businesses that we worked with that were smaller, almost all of them immediately stopped, any kind of work with us in March because of obvious reasons.
Right.
So if that had been our primary client base, I think we probably would have been worrying about whether or not we'd be in business.
Okay. And you said you did get a PPP loan. What was your experience with that? I mean, we've heard a lot of different experiences. Folks dealing with large banks had more problems than folks dealing with community banks. How did it go for you?
You know, we actually went with a community bank that is the bank that we use for our business. And unfortunately, we did not get funded through them. Mm-hmm. So we were, first in line to apply the day it opened, had everything set. And I know they were working very hard, frantically. They were drowning in applications, as was every bank. And about 10 days later, we started getting very nervous because we hadn't gotten approved, and we had been hearing about, like, on Easter, a bunch of people I knew got approved. I'm like, Easter? Oh, that's interesting, on Sunday.
Right.
And so a couple days later, we decided we had to look for alternate funding, and we actually went online to a source I'd never heard of. It was recommended to me by a colleague of mine in the entrepreneurs organization, the New Jersey chapter, mm-hmm. who they had applied. So I thought, well, it's worth a shot. And that later that week, 2 days later, it was Thursday morning when everyone had heard the money ran out. That night at 8 p.m., where we had spent about 9 hours thinking, how are we going to have a business? We got an email from this online source saying, yeah, you're approved. You've got a PPP loan number. Mm-hmm. We went, what? So we didn't actually get funding for a little over a month.
A month?
But or maybe a little less than a month. But we did get it. We knew it was coming, and that made planning much easier.
Okay. All right. And so, and that helped. I mean, the money helped you keep going, keep your employees, did the whole thing that the program was supposed to do. It worked.
Exactly what it was supposed to do. Phenomenal. And it allowed us during this time to think about things other than, holy cow, how are we going to feed our employees? I mean, we haven't cut anyone due to Corona. We haven't cut anyone's salary other than my business partner and ourselves, but none of our employees, we've kept everyone on. And this made that possible for sure, which is huge. We know everyone's suffering, but it also gave us the chance to sit back and think, while we're not billing at our full amount, we're billing enough to help us kind of get by and see that even when PPP money runs out, we'll be able to move forward. Mm-hmm. So what else can we be doing? Those 9 hours that we spent thinking we didn't get the money really put us, when you can walk in someone's shoes, it put us in the shoes of the vast majority of small businesses in our country and in New Jersey that didn't get funding. And we thought, what would we do? And that's really where we sort of had our idea come about, which is our approach to how the state can help small businesses and all businesses survive right now.
Okay. Well, you're a pro at this because you went right to the segue to the next question, which is you're also the co-founder of NJ Small. I know you have a specific proposal. Tell me about NJ Small. Tell me about your idea.
Great. So my business, as you mentioned, is an advertising agency. We're called the S3 Agency, and we are used to coming up with innovative solutions on a creative level for our clients, whether it's ad campaigns or PR or, whatever. So when we started turning that thought process towards what can we do to help other businesses in our state, small businesses who've really been taking the brunt of pain during this time, we thought, the reason we're surviving, other than PPP, but the reason we can sustainably survive is because we have large businesses as clients.
Mm-hmm.
And if more large businesses in New Jersey would hire small businesses in New Jersey instead of going out of state, so not asking them to spend more money, just reallocate those out of state funds to small businesses in New Jersey, the impact would be enormous. Now, again, there are 860,000 small businesses in New Jersey, or at least there were when the pandemic started. I don't know. I hope there are still that many, but if a big business shifts its budget, it can help so many small businesses. One account from a big business can save a small business,
mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of big businesses in New Jersey, and so the concept is I think a very simple concept, but we also need to give the big businesses, other than just being good guys, a financial reason to go ahead and do that. Because when you shift, right, when you hire a new vendor, there's always a little bit of pain involved finding that vendor and onboarding them. And any kind of change can be difficult, especially at a time when people are very stretched. And big businesses are hurting too. Mm-hmm. So we're asking Governor Murphy to provide a 1% tax incentive, corporate business tax, for New Jersey's big businesses when they hire New Jersey's small businesses. It's a net because the small businesses will now pay tax on business that they are pleased to have. And, the big businesses save money, but it's actually a net gain because more business will stay in the state. More people will be employed. More small businesses will survive. We'll have less people on unemployment. There'll be more money that people can spend at their local vendors. If you go buy pizza or, whatever it is that you want to buy, because you'll feel more financially stable because your household isn't completely unemployed and mm-hmm. devastated. And it's a very sustainable approach. And I think that's the key. We're seeing all of these attempts by the EDA, which I appreciate everything they're doing in trying to help small businesses, but money will run out. It has run out. Every time anyone, federal dollars, state dollars, anything that's being given to small businesses or anyone right now will run out because money is not an infinite source. Right. So we need to find a sustainable approach. And I think that the NJ Small approach of incentivizing big businesses to help small businesses, it helps all businesses and really helps all of New Jersey speed up our economic recovery. It doesn't just speed it up, but it can help it maintain, so that in the future we can be seen as a state that's friendlier for businesses, big businesses, to come to stay in, and to really help our infrastructure be even stronger.
Yes, well, I hear you. I mean, there's a lot of concern about what's going to happen to the economy once those PPP funds run out and folks are back on their own again. Just so I understand, you're talking about a 1% tax incentive. Is that a 1% cut of the rate or 1% reduction in the tax bill for corporations?
I think I'm not an economist or a CPA, but I'm a creative. So I this approach, what we're seeing it as, and obviously, they'll have to figure it out on a professional scale, but we're just seeing it as when you hire a small business, the corporate business tax you spend, you get a 1% discount on. Okay. I don't know all the details about it. We've been speaking with a lot of different people and hearing different potential scenarios. And obviously the governor would have to figure out what works best there.
Okay. Well, that was the next question too, is who have you been talking to? What has the response been? Do you have any allies in Trenton at this point?
We do. I've been very, very encouraged. I would say that to a person, every person we've spoken with has been very positive in receiving this potential approach. We've spoken with the Treasury, we've spoken with EDA, we've spoken with legislators, and people are very positive about it. I'm encouraged that this has an actual path to happening. Mm-hmm. I don't know how quickly. The quicker the better, because we need help and we need it now. But I also understand that there is a process that things have to follow, and in order for it to be a sustainably thought through and enacted process, that due diligence is required.
Okay. So what's next? What's the plan at this point? Do you have a campaign? I mean, how are you going about trying to get this in front of folks, besides talking to people like me?
Well, certainly, news like yourself is huge for us, because that is how people are finding out about things. But we do also have, of course, we're an ad agency, so we put together a campaign.
Oh, cool.
And we have been very fortunate that a lot of media outlets have come to us and offered us complimentary pro bono sort of PSA placement.
Mhm.
So there are billboards happening and online ads, and we're working on a TV spot right now. We've been offered some space there. So we are getting out that way as well. And there's a petition. If you go to njsmall.com, people can sign the petition to ask Governor Murphy to consider our request, and people can share that on social media. And of course, social media is a huge way for people to discover things, and word of mouth, right? I mean, ultimately, anyone can help. You don't have to be a big business or the purchasing person at a big business. If you work at a big business, knowing about this and telling other people about it and thinking, oh, what can we shift dollars wise, and encouraging that even before hopefully this actually gets enacted, that can really help people right now. If you are working at a small business, bringing this concept to big businesses in New Jersey and telling them, hey, please consider working with us, and this is going to help our state, because everyone here lives here, works here, has friends, neighbors, relatives who've been hurt by this, and it's an easy concept to get your head around about how it can help locally. And if you aren't working anywhere, signing the petition, everyone should be signing the petition, because the more people we have on board, the more weight our request will hold.
Okay. So small business owners should sign the petition. Is there anything else that they should be doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Spreading the word, share it on LinkedIn, share it on social media. And I would include it in approaching big businesses as potential clients. I would have in my email be talking about, hey, have you seen this? This is a way that, your business can help New Jersey right now. And you're located here. Your employees work here. You have friends and relatives that work here. Please consider our request. I think it's
even without the incentive.
Even without the incentive, it's a very human-based solution. Again, not being an accountant, we really just thought of this from the human perspective, and we took our personal experience of what has worked for us, and we see that it works, and we hope that other businesses will be able to help the small businesses that really need it. And small businesses, a lot of times you have very high caliber talent who you can hire that oftentimes will be a lower price than other big businesses out of state. So it can really be a tremendous win for everyone.
Okay. Anything else folks should know about this that I haven't asked you about?
All I can say is just remember that hiring small is better for all.
Okay, a good one. Well, we'll leave it there then. Denise Blasevick, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay safe, everyone.